Good afternoon. Today we're going to have a look at the GHK MK18 MOD1 gas blowback rifle. We're going to take a look quickly at some of the details on here before we get started with anything else. So I'm just going to set it down here for a minute. Now, this rifle is for US SOCOM. It's all the specs, everything. It's got a Colt receiver, and as you can see, it's got the Daniel Defense front quad rail on it. When you look at it, everything is very much up to the specs on it. It's a very solid and well-built rifle. Looking carefully over here, you can see all the markings starting here. We have the Colt horse on the globe with the two spears. That's a relatively old Colt marking. We have property of the US government, manufactured caliber on it, and then back here we have Colt Manufacturing in Hartford, Connecticut. So everything is perfectly authentic and licensed under this gun. And when we look at the quad rail in the front, you can see we have all the proper numbering in here and Daniel Defense Incorporated, all with the patented Daniel Defense lock-on system here, exactly like the real gun. And when they did this, they paid attention to a lot of detail, and one thing that really surprises me for a gas blowback gun straight out of the box is how many features of this gun are made out of steel. I'm just going to grab my magnet here to show you that our flash hider is steel. Both of our flip-up sights are made from steel. The forward assist, steel. Steel trigger. Steel fire selector, steel mag release, and inside we have tons of steel parts. So I'm just going to quickly open this gun up and have a look inside, because there's a lot of features that impress me on this rifle. Now, one thing I noticed, the pins are very tight, so the machining specs are really good on this rifle. Okay, when we look inside here, you can see that your hammer and sear, we already looked at the trigger, was steel, but our hammer and sear are also steel. Along with the fire selector here. Another thing that I noticed when we first fired at this, it has a lot of kickback, really realistic kickback. So if we take out the recoil buffer here, compared to a lot of airsoft guns, you'll notice it's got a very solid machined aluminum, very heavy recoil buffer. And that's what gives you that nice, realistic kickback. Let's put that back together here. And again, like any AR or M4 product, it's very easy to disassemble. Now, if we're going to slide here, that our charge handle comes out, and we'll take a look inside here. Now you can see a lot of the gas blowback guns have a plastic valve in here. Well, this is a stainless valve. And again, we have a lot of zinc or aluminum bolts. This bolt is all machined solid steel bolt, which shows just how good a quality this gun has built. You see the machining also in there where it locks in. When the bolt slides in, I feel it locks in just really precisely and tight. You see how nice it locks in place there? Just a very well machined gun. So just a second here, I'm going to reassemble it. Also, we'll take a look at the machined aluminum charge handle, is also very nice. Just give me a second to slide this all back together. Again, it fits very snugly. The rubber hammer here. And she's back together nice and solid. Okay, we're going to do some quick tests of this gun. They say it should fire around 400 feet per second, so we're going to get out the chronograph and see how well it fires. Okay, now we're going to test this MK18 MOD1 rifle for the FPS. First, one thing I'd like to point out once I get this rifle loaded is, of course, it's a GBBR, which is for close quarter battles. It's very short and very light, very maneuverable. Actually so light that actually it feels comfortable one-handed. You know, if you're in something, you just have to reach around the corner, you can't get the other hand in front. It's very light and maneuverable that way. Now, it's loaded. We're going to take a few shots and see what the meters per second, or actually feet per second is. It says it should be somewhere around 370 to 400 on the box. So we'll see how close it is to that. So we're getting around 400 feet per second, which is really good. Again, as you can see, it's got steel flip-up sights that are adjustable on the top, and the Daniel Defense full 4-way front rail, good for any of your lights, lasers, optics, or anything else. You want a foregrip or a handle on here, anything you want to mount, you have plenty of Picatinny rail here to mount your stuff on. Now we're just going to fire a few shots on semi, switch over to fully automatic, and see if she locks open when the magazine is empty. Very smooth. It's got a nice kickback from that heavy recoil weight inside. And again, when it's empty, it didn't have very much left in the magazine. You see it locks open, ready to change out that mag. Okay, now I'm going to quickly run a few rounds through here on fully auto and see what we can get for rounds per second from this rifle. See, once it's empty, it's locked open, and we're averaging just about 13 rounds per second. So a really nice rate of fire and a real nice blowback effect from the gun. Well, after a quick review of this rifle, I find it to be an absolutely excellent reproduction, and everything on it is milled is perfect. You know, the specs are perfect, the markings are beautiful, the CNC front Daniel Defense rail, really nice. And the great thing about GHK is they have the license for Colt, and you can see on the box they have the fully licensed from Daniel Defense. So this gun is perfectly legal to sell in the States, and it's just an excellent little rifle. So if it's important to you to have things very authentic and have your legal, you know, registrations and markings, this gun is available now on our Airsoft Taiwan online shop. So pick one up for yourself.